What is the procedure to get out of that stain that I have experienced in my past?
And that's not a problem. The problem is when what comes in doesn't go out. Don't act a victim. Because that's what life is, a continuous stream of experiences. So things keep coming in, and that's not a problem. The problem is, do you see why those ugly memories, those stains, those scars are retained with such care? Because the more you act the victim, the more is your entitlement for a
Pranam Acharya Ji. My question is related to same context. It's taken from your book Truth Without Apology, chapter 86. There is a line that says, that is how the mind should be, capable of action, fully involved yet untouched. It participates in life yet walks away clean. It performs without being stained. So you have mentioned that if a vessel gets stained repeatedly, if a vessel gets stained repeatedly, you do not change the ingredient of the cooking, but you change the vessel itself. So my question is that what is the procedure to get out of that stain that I have experienced in my past? Because the things that are kept on the table, like you said, how can I just ignore the table and focus on the
I'll first of all elaborate the question for everybody. So, in the particular chapter, the lady is quoting from the book. I have taken the example of a vessel. A vessel that keeps accumulating stains. And then I have said that might not really be because of particular ingredients. That is because the surface of the vessel has developed a particular stickiness. So whatever you put in the vessel, the vessel sticks to it. Not that the ingredient sticks to the vessel. The vessel has become of the kind that it sticks to the ingredient. You put something in it, and then you pour it away. You want to wash it off, and you find no, some part of it has remained on the vessel. The vessel has developed an affinity, a bond. The vessel is refusing to let go of what it had. Something came in, but what came in isn't fully going out. The vessel is saying, I'll retain some part of it. And that's what you call as a stain, right? That's what you call as a stain. Right? Otherwise, you put something in it, and then you throw it away or pour it out, get rid of it, and you find nothing of it remains here. That's not a problem. It's a huge problem when what goes in doesn't fully go out. And then you say it is unclean. Don't you say that? Isn't that the definition of lack of cleanliness? When you say you are washing the utensils, you're not really washing the utensil. You are washing away the remains of what came to the utensil, right? The utensil is what it always was. You are washing away what it has additionally gained, right? Or are you washing away a part of the utensil itself? No. You are washing away what the utensil has additionally accumulated. Right? Now, there is a reason why the utensil sticks to its contents. Why does it do that? In chemical terms, why does that happen? Bonded. A chemical bond develops. A chemical bond develops. Why does the chemical bond develop? Because the utensil is just too eager to stick to something. Why? Because the utensil, in the chemical sense, feels that it is better off reacting with something that randomly came to it. Randomly, because no utensil really chooses what would come to it. Something randomly came to it, and now the utensil says, I'll hold on. I'll clutch it. I don't want to give it up. I don't want to give it up. The mind is the vessel. Situations, events, experiences are the dish, the contents, the ingredients. They keep coming, and that's not a problem because that's what life is. A continuous stream of experiences. So things keep coming in, and that's not a problem. The problem is when what comes in doesn't go out. When the mind says, I want to arrest a part of it. That is because the mind is carrying a notion that it is better off reacting, that it is better off bonding, that it is better off holding. We need to question that. Are you really so internally insufficient that you need to enter a bond? And does it help you? It's not with one particular thing that you develop a bond. It's not one particular thing that you stick to. And this is not the first time you are doing it. Has it helped in the past? Came in the vegetable and you stuck to it, came in the oil and you stuck to it, and then the spices. Everything you tried to just accumulate. Did it help? Had it helped, the accumulation would have stopped. You would have said, now I have what I wanted, therefore I do not need to accumulate any further. This that you called as a stain is an accumulation. You have seen that, right? A stain is actually an addition, something that the vessel has decided to additionally have as a layer on itself, right? Ask yourself, has it ever helped? You have had so many layers. Have they ever sufficed? What would one additional layer then give? Are you getting this? See that it is needless. Because it is definitely needless. See that collecting memories or ideas or stories doesn't help. See that the vessel retains its incompleteness by doing more and more of what it does from its incompleteness. Reacting with the ingredients, does that change the nature of the vessel? No. It will keep reacting more and more and more and more. It will keep gathering stains. So ask yourself, how am I better off with all these stories that I carry in my head? How have they helped me? And how are the stories I'm gathering today or am likely to gather in the future any different fundamentally from what I collected in the past? It's the same stupid stream. Why should I participate in it? One doesn't clutch something for no reason. One sees a benefit. And as long as one continues to see a benefit, the clutching will continue. Therefore, observe closely, examine. Is there really a benefit? It's not a question of morality. It's a question of benefit. What am I getting from this? Is the question you need to ask. What really do I get by collecting stains? Don't act a victim. Don't say these are scars of the wounds from the past. Don't say these are things that happened to you. Accept ownership. These are the things that I have chosen to accumulate. Not that these are things that just happened to me. What happened to you happened in the past, right? It's gone. The decision to still carry it in the mind is yours. Yes, external events can be random. Yes, one has no control over external happenings. But one does have authority over what one retains in the mind. No? Memory is intentional. Something just doesn't automatically remain in the mind. Do you remember everything that has happened over the last 10 years? Do you even remember everything that has happened over the last 10 days or 10 hours or 10 minutes? Memory is intentional. Those stains are not incidental. Those are things that you have decided to retain. The ego remembers what reinforces it. And the ego quietly chooses to forget what shows it the mirror. A great teaching from somewhere, you will quietly drop it from the memory. Hurt from the past, you will carry it for the next 50 years. Because the hurt serves to reinforce a victimization narrative. I am the poor victim and the world is the offender. And since the world is the offender, I am entitled to claim compensation. Do you see why those ugly memories, those stains, those scars are retained with such care? Because the more you act the victim, the more is your entitlement for a compensation. No compensation is good enough or big enough. No scar is worth the compensation. Drop it. You are not benefiting. Just as you have forgotten so much that happened over the last 10 hours, just forget much of what has happened over the last 10 years or 30 years or it's useless. It's not helping you. You have a life to live. And you can't go backwards and live in the memories. This that you are carrying will prevent you from living. This that you are carrying is itself dead because it's from the past. And this dead thing will obstruct life the more it remains in the mind. You'll have to ask yourself some very innocent questions. Very direct questions. Just the way one looks at the mirror. Right?
Thank you, sir.